Hey, I'm Ethan.
Hey, I'm Mike.
I watched the first half of Flash Gordon.
I watched the second half of Flash Gordon.
And this is the other half. Flash. Ah! I heard the theme song to this. I don't know any goddamn thing about.
Sorry.
I don't know anything about Flash Gordon.
Really?
Not a damn thing.
Have you seen Star Wars?
Yes.
You know a thing or two about Flash Gordon then, my friend.
Was Flash Gordon?
Flash Gordon was a old television serial that existed previously in black and white. And George Lucas grew up with them and the idea of the scrolling text and the spaceship.
Well, when I watched this, this is like the reboot, right? So this is 1980s.
The reboot, yes.
I mean, it is it not?
I suppose so, yeah. It's just a weird word to use for like an 80s property.
I'm sorry. They made reboots back in the day, Mike.
I know.
Have you heard of A Star Is Born?
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, 1980s, I didn't know anything about it. And it's funny coming off of like what Star Wars actually did come out at this point, right? So
I think that's why they made this movie.
Yeah,
they wanted to recreate it.
They wanted to recreate exactly it. But also knew nothing about this, heard the fucking theme song, and I was like, this theme song's so good. It sounds just like Queen. And I looked it up and it was Queen.
Just like Queen.
I was like, oh, wait, Flash, hold on. And it was written for this movie. That's crazy.
It was written for the movie.
That's what it was.
Well, obviously, Queen's not just writing songs about Flash Gordon. Like, I guess why? I guess
honestly,
yeah.
Could have.
Yeah,
like, why not? Like, they wrote about weird shit like a bicycle. Come on.
Bicycle race. Yeah, we should have. When was the part of Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie, where Freddie's like, you know who I love, who's always been there for me, Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
I gotta write a song about Flash. No, Freddie, don't
do
it.
Though.
You'll die of AIDS if you write about Flash Gordon. No, we can't.
Your life will be like a flash before our eyes. You'll be gone too soon.
Yeah, no. I know I'm gay, but also I'm straight, and I love Flash Gordon. That's what that movie is all about.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
we can check out that podcast episode earlier.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what this movie's about.
Flash Gordon, man.
Yeah.
What a wild fucking.
What a crazy
By the way,
film
this is recommended by
Leo Logan.
Leo Logan, who's only recommended bangers.
Yes.
So far, and this boy, this is a trip.
This is
I don't know if this is a banger good movie, but it's a banger.
It's a
weird
big movie. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff happening in this film.
It starts off though.
Is there a scroll? Is there an opening scroll?
Not quite, but there is an opening like monologue type thing where they're talking about like, oh yeah, we like to fucking just play with things before they destroy them. And there's a bunch of switches that say like tornado, earthquake, flood. For Earth. And they're like flipping switches about Earth, and they're like, when are we gonna destroy Earth? It's such a meager planet. It's like,
who
we're
is
testing
this?
This guy.
Is it Mongo or whatever the fuck?
Ming
the Merciless.
Ming the Merciless.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting name.
Yeah, it is. And a cool character design, too. I love Ming the Merciless.
I felt like this is like the 80s, so they're like, we kind of should not make it so weirdly racist.
But we should still put a white actor
just a
in
little
yellow
bit.
face.
Yeah.
I mean, did you recognize the actor?
Shit. I wrote it down.
We just saw him in a movie in our own personal lives.
We did just see Sam. No, not Sam D. Jones. That's Flash Gordon. Fuck.
Max von Sydow.
Sydow, yes,
yeah,
exactly.
He was in The Exorcist. He's a big old German guy.
Well, I thought it was more crazy to see Topol.
Topol. He was
movie.
awesome in this movie. He stole the show.
Dr. Hans Zarkov.
Yes,
so fun.
Big fan of Zarkov.
I mean, Timothy Dalton's in this.
Timothy Dalton. Brian Blessed is in this movie. But he's not in your half the movie, I don't suspect.
No, he is.
Okay.
He's the weird hawk guy, right? He's got the weird bird wings.
Yes, the weird hawk guy. Yes, that's right.
With his like little weird clan.
I'm big and scary.
This is such a wild. This is like, okay, so you know how like Star Wars has like weird little guys?
Yeah.
And like we love the weird little guys?
Yes.
This is the whole movie's this.
It's like
it's just weird little guys.
So much is happening in this movie.
So many weird little guys.
It was hard to jump into my half of the movie.
Oh,
and
I
just
imagine.
Keep track of all this shit.
Well, here's the thing: is even as Flash Gordon, it's hard for him to jump into this movie.
Oh yeah.
And I also didn't know anything about Flash Gordon. I didn't know if he had a superpower. I didn't know.
I don't think he has any superpowers. He's just.
That's what's crazy. Yeah. He doesn't.
He's just a guy, right?
I thought he was gonna
Earth.
I thought he was gonna get like zapped. I'm like, Wednesday's like, oh, a fucking
Flash. That's what they call Flash.
That's what I thought. Yeah. My brain has been poisoned to think that like everyone that's like got a main character type situation going on is that they have some sort of superpower. They're some like chosen one.
Right.
This motherfucker's just a quarterback for what, the Packers or something?
I don't know. I never see
the Packers or the Giants. He's just a football player. It's crazy. And he's just like, I guess I'm going to save
Guess
Earth.
I have to save Earth.
I'm just a fucking all-American goody two-shoes with my blonde-ass hair, and I'm just going to punch people.
Apparently, the actor did not have blonde hair. They had a dye his hair blonde.
They dyed it. They didn't give him a wig. That makes sense.
Yeah, they whatever. They dyed it, bleached it. They bleached it
They might
blonde.
have bleached it. He probably didn't care.
And
because like I looked at this. Go ahead. Sorry.
all of his dialogue was dubbed by a different person.
Really?
Yeah, none of the dialogue in this movie is from the original actor.
That's wild.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That must have been such a bad performance.
Apparently.
But I looked at his IMDb, and
he's done nothing.
He's
this
only,
and Ted.
Ted,
yes,
which he reprises basically the same characters. Probably like a reference where Ted's like the bear's probably like, oh, I'm so fucking high. Look, it's Flash Gordon. I kind of remember that from the first. Ted.
I was gonna say I don't know if you've seen the original Ted movie. I have.
I did when it came out.
It's also been a while. I also saw when it came out. It's the only understanding I have about this Flash Gordon movie is the Ted movie. And
did you see a sequel?
No, I didn't see Ted 2. What do you fucking take me for a fool? But no.
This movie made me want to watch Ted and Ted 2. Which I don't know what that says about me.
I do kind of want to revisit Ted just to see like what will we do.
Well, the TV show's coming out.
It's already out.
Show. Oh, is it?
It's already out. Yeah.
Sure. I don't fucking.
Who cares?
I don't pay attention. It's probably fine.
It's probably okay. I remember we've talked about Ted during the Flash Gordon podcast. I remember actually enjoying Ted the character like a lot.
Yeah.
Because he was like a cool guy. He was just like a horny bear, but he wasn't like an asshole, you know?
No.
He just wanted to get laid and he was a cool guy, you know?
I don't know. I feel like we watched back.
You think back and he's like...
I think he might be problematic.
Maybe he's probably got some kind of racist thing in that movie.
No, I bet he probably just doesn't respect women's boundaries or something weird like that.
No, I think he's pretty cool with women.
You think so?
I remember the scene where he's flirting with some lady and the lady's like, I want a piece of that bear.
Bro, I barely remember Flash Gordon being in that movie.
Barely remember. Yeah.
Anyway, let's stop talking about that or else we'll never get through this movie.
That's true. Tell me more about Flash Gordon. He's a
the intro player. Happens, and let me tell you, this intro's so fucking good. It's got Queen going in the background.
Hell yeah.
Flash! And it's got, It's
Savior of the universe.
It's great. It's all written by the guitarist. It's great.
Hell yeah.
And then they press a button. The bad guys are pressing buttons. One of them is Hot Hail. So I'm like, they invented a new bad thing to happen to the
Earth. Hot Hail. I thought that was like a name of one of the bad guys. No. Okay.
Hot Hail is just like
on Earth.
There's just like random big globs of like hot shit that just falls on the ground.
Right.
Awful.
Why is he doing this to Earth?
Well, you'll see. He'll explain it in a bit.
I wanted to explain.
It takes a little bit. You got to get to space for that.
Okay.
So we got Flash, and he's there with this lady, and they both get into this small aircraft because I guess they're going to the same place.
Where?
I don't know. It's very weird. It's very like private jet, or not jet, but like airplane. And obviously he's a rich guy, and I guess she is like a travel agent.
Okay.
And
she's from New York City.
Oh wow, crazy.
Yeah.
But the hot hail starts happening.
So he's probably a Giants, right? Because they're from New York. New York Giants. That's the thing.
So he announces at one point. I can't find it in my notes right now, but we'll get to it. I'm pretty sure it's the Giants. I think you might be right. So they're driving and flying, and the pilot's like, "Oh my god, it's
Flash Gordon.
It's getting crazy. It's getting some turbulence." And he's like, "Flash Gordon. I hope he's having a good time." I'm like, okay. I don't know if this Flash Gordon guy is. I still don't know. Like, so people know about him already.
People know about Flash.
He's not like, he's not like Spider-Man, right? Like where no one knew about Peter Parker. And
no,
knew about
Flash is his name.
Flash
Mr. and Mrs. Gordon gave birth to a kid named him Flash.
Well, I think that's what's kind of funny about this is they name him Flash Gordon, but I believe it's kind of like, a fun nickname they give, like
the
cool
Rock
football player, or like
the
O.J. Simpson.
Juice.
Yeah, exactly. Right. They give him a fun name, because he's like he's a cool guy.
Killer of his wife.
Does the glove fit? Bloody glove.
Killer of the white stuff.
Oh no.
All right, yeah, it's like that.
Yeah. So anyway, he gets like an autograph of the pilots.
Right.
And he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" The Lady Dale's having like kind of like a bunch of anxiety about flying because it's a little tiny plane. I don't know if you've flown in a little tiny plane. Them shit's got some real turbulence.
No, I've never flown in a small plane.
And he doesn't know this lady, but he's already flirting with her. He's like, I don't know.
Is this Dale?
Like a cool, Dale. He's like, oh, you're real. I saw you and I knew you're a travel agent because I asked someone about you because I thought you were really pretty. And she's like, oh, you're just trying to say that to calm me down. He's like, no, it's okay. Don't worry. It's turbulence. It happens all the time. And then the sky turns red and he's like, I don't know about that. Like, is everything okay? And he's like, I don't know. A bunch of smoke appears. And then we cut to Dr. Zarkov.
Yes.
And his character is his assistant Munson.
I don't think I ever seen
Munson wakes up and he's like, what the fuck? And there's basically like hot hail coming into like the laboratory. It's falling on the ground. And he's like, Dr. Zarkov, there's no sun. And he's like, it's a solar eclipse, but it wasn't scheduled. Like, we should know when that is.
Right.
And they like watch the news, and NASA's like, it's okay. It's just a weird anomaly. And he's like, I knew it. Dr. Zarkov's like, I knew it was right. I know this isn't just random mistakes. This is something happening.
Right.
Someone is attacking us. This is an attack on us. The hot hail is still landing. And I'm like, yeah, hot hail is kind of weird.
That's pretty crazy.
Imagine if global warming was done by aliens, man.
Yeah. 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 Imagine global warming being real in general.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Okay, so then
That'd be probably easier for us to admit, right? We didn't cause it. It was aliens that caused it.
I guarantee there's absolutely someone out there who thinks that
100%.
for real. They're like, global warming's real, but aliens are doing it, so we can't do anything about it. So
us.
burn that oil, baby. So yeah. Oh my goodness, this is a lot in a movie. Okay,
It's
so
a lot, yeah.
So no mistake in NASA. Hot hail's still coming down. Apparently, it's fragments of the moon.
What?
I guess
the moon got blown
They're
up?
destroying the moon. Then it's not blown up, but they're currently destroying it.
Whoa.
I guess. Dr. Zarkov's like, I have a rocket. We're gonna go up there and we're gonna try to negotiate them to stop this shit.
Whose job is this Zarkov guy?
He's just a crazy rogue scientist. Like everyone has
Wow.
said, like he's fucking crazy or whatever. Munson's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go with you. Like, I'm not gonna go up into space and die. I'm gonna run away.
Coward.
And so fucking Dr. Zarkov pulls out a gun and is like, you better get in there. He's like,
Paul pulls a gun on this dude?
he pulls out a gun, and Munson's like, I still don't want to go. I could run or die out here. He's like, what happens if I die out here? I die up there. He's like, well, at least you die trying to save the world. He's
Hell
like,
yeah.
He's like, I don't give a shit. And he runs away.
Zarkov is such a badass, dude. Zarkov might be my favorite character.
Really?
In the movie. Yeah, I love him a lot.
He's a very complicated character. That's why I kind of like him.
Complicated?
He's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, I love a crazy scientist, man. I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're very smart, I know.
Yeah, I have a really high IQ. That's why I like Dr. Zarkov.
That's why you love Dr. Zarkov.
He rocks.
So then, like, we're back to the plane with, Flash. And a spooky man comes through, which is, of course, Ming. And he comes through the clouds and vaporizes the pilots.
Whoa.
He, like, busts through, vaporizes the pilots.
Turn them into, like, skeletons?
No,
Or
they're just gone.
Like, they're gone. Holy
and so,
shit.
Flash Gordon has to fly the plane. He basically just lands it shittily, and it crash lands into where the scientists are. Dr. Zarkov. And they crash into this greenhouse. Pretty cool effect. They crash into the greenhouse. They both just get out and like, hey, we're Flash Gordon and Dale are like, we're fine. We're good. We're all good.
Just crashed.
And Dr. Zarkov's like, ooh, an opportunity. Would you like to use my phone? He's like, yeah, man, we need to use your phone. Sorry about like crashing things. Hope the insurance will take care of it. Yeah, it's like weird stuff going on outside. He's like, yeah, well, you want to use my phone? It's inside this place here. And they go in. It's the fucking rocket ship, bro.
Oh.
And they're like,
he's tricked them.
And they're like, where's the phone? And then the lady's like telling Dale's like, hey, so Flash, I think I recognize that doctor. He like been ousted from like all scientific circles because he's a crazy man.
Yeah.
Mike's like, whatever. He's probably
Whatever.
right.
He's like Doc Brown.
Yeah, sure, okay. And so he's like, oh yeah, all right. Well, I guess we should probably leave then. And he pops in. He's like, hey, so you guys are coming with me? Actually, I pulls out a gun. And is like, she's coming with me. You can leave.
All right. I don't know.
I like her.
I don't know if I feel about Zarkov anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You can't trust any men in this movie. They're all too horny.
That's true.
This movie's very weirdly horny, which I did not expect.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If I were a scientist, I
would launch into the air and try to stop the aliens.
I wouldn't have to work hard. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
Fiddler on the Spaceship.
Fiddler on the Spaceship, exactly.
Love to see that coming to Broadway soon.
Hail in the sky.
Oh, God.
I know.
So, recognizes him, says, we'll take it with you. But then Flash is like, all right, I'll leave. And he's like, just kidding, bro. He's a cool guy. So he
Hell yeah.
Punch him. They start fighting, having a little tussle in
Damn.
the spaceship. But then he unfortunately punches Zarkov right into the launch button. So they launch off into space.
Oh my God,
And he's
Zarkov.
like, we have to sit down. The G-forces will kill you. So they all sit down. They're basically like going into space. And then space
Looks
turns
insane.
Space turns into like 90s, this is or 80s, 70s like fusion, which I love. It was made in the 80s, so it's like has that like 70s like vibe of like psychedelic shit. They got like a guitar playing. It's like boop, boop, boop,
It kind of looks like not a snow globe.
It looks like a lava lamp with sand in it.
Yes, 100%.
It's amazing. It looks incredible.
It looks amazing.
I love the visuals in this of them just flying through
It looks
weird space.
so fucking ridiculous.
It's insane, and I kind of appreciate a movie that's like, okay, we're not gonna make this look realistic like
No.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
We're just gonna make it look crazy cool.
Yeah.
And be a vibe.
Because it's boring to have it just be black and, like
Yeah,
stars
unless
and
you have
stuff.
like the big budget and like the creative team behind that.
They
Like,
do
fuck
not
it.
have
They
a big
definitely
budget.
do not. They have a costume budget.
Yeah, that's
I don't know if
about
it's
it.
very big.
Yeah.
Set budget, I guess, maybe, but
Yeah, acting budget. I
Sure.
think they spend it all on that and none on the special effects.
yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
So they launched the button.
Yeah, they're in space.
And he was like, I built this thing to send friendship to the aliens. This ends now. We have to stop what they're doing to Earth. So they reach orbit, and this like crazy ass guitar music starts playing, and they like kind of fly. And Flash and Dale hold hands. They're like, oh, we love each other, bro.
Yeah.
And
I love how they just met today, too.
oh, I know, but they've been through a lot of trauma.
They've
like
been through
very
a lot.
quick.
That's
Imagine
true.
like you just survive from a plane crash and you get launched into space. Like
And
that's
you're
crazy.
like, we're gonna get married. Like, yeah, there's nobody else has lived
no
this
one else has
experience.
lived this experience
Yeah.
in one day. And
You get kidnapped by a crazy
matter of like
scientist.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
So this dude this alien with weird glasses, like, blah, 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 these guys have entered the vector. Would you like me to bring them in? They're like, they have life forms on, like unknown life forms. Bring them in. So they tractor beam them in. They say, bring them in for a safe landing. They just fucking throw those motherfuckers in the dirt, like outside the castle.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Crazy castle looking thing. Like the planet looks nuts. Like it is like the most like picture 50 sci-fi shit. It looks like that.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Clearly a model.
Clearly a model in the background.
Don't know how to photograph it so it looks big.
Nope, it just looks very far in the background.
Yeah.
So they land there, and of course the aliens are like, "Oh, we're gonna get you," and he's like, "I come in peace, bro. We're from Earth," and they fucking taser Flash Gordon's ass. Then they lock him up. They put him in like handcuffs. They don't lock up Dale or the Doctor for some reason.
Well, they know he's the threat.
But he just said, "I want peace." He's like, he has no.
That he's not threatening at all.
No, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird choice.
A lot of weird choices here.
Oh boy, love it. This is an unhinged ass movie.
Yeah, it really is.
So then they land safely. Okay. So then Zarkov is like, wow, look at this place. Everything is like very immaculately run. It's very like Imperial from Star Wars type of shit.
Oh yeah.
It's like basically a fascist place, right? And he's like, look at this fascist place. Everyone here
Look at
just
this
wants to be freed.
Yeah.
Like they need a ruler to like start
Free
it up.
them.
And he looks at Flash. He's like, me? What the fuck? I guess so. Sure.
I'm just a football player.
Just a football player, dude. He's like, they need someone to believe him.
Yeah.
And this is perhaps my favorite scene in the whole movie. They're walking forward as they're kind of like in prison. And there's this weird little like flying ball, we'll say. It's basically like a ball. Kind of like, it's very similar like a Star Wars like Imperial droid that kind of flies around.
Got it.
And it's coming through the corridor, and it follows him. It's like, follow me. And they start following him. And you see it from its perspective.
Uh-huh.
And then suddenly this little green little creature like runs out in the back of them. And the thing goes,
Hold, lizard man. Escape is impossible. Surrender.
and he just gets vaporized and is gone. It's so fucking funny how quick it happens.
Oh my god.
It's amazing. I'm like why they show? They're just like, oh, man, just wanted to show this place is harsh to everyone.
Do you see like that lizard man like multiple times?
There's multiple lizard men.
Right. Did you recognize any of them?
No, they have weird masks on.
Apparently, one of them is played by Deep Roy, who played all of the Oompa Loompas in the Tim Burton.
But these look like people in full. They look like full size.
Yeah. Oh wait, they're like little people, right?
I guess I never really saw them next to anyone, so I didn't know their scale.
I'm pretty sure they're little people.
Scale.
Scale because they're lizards. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
No, I don't think I ever saw them next to anyone. They were always kind of like in their own
Their own
scene.
shots.
Yeah, or in the very far background. Like
I see. I think I've seen
Interesting.
one of them in my half the movie, and I'm like, why are they just throwing out these weird aliens all of a sudden? Because I
They
never
look
see them.
crazy. If you see their eyes, they're like
Yes.
painted on. It's horrifying.
It's horrifying.
I love how awful they look. It's
Yeah.
amazing. So then also the little thing zaps Dr. Zarkov's gun away, so he has no weapons
Nice.
of violence. So they arrive, but also a bunch of other people arrive in kind of like the throne room. I'm just going to call it that.
That's fair.
These angel men arrive, which I think is the Hawk people we were talking
They're
about.
Hawk people, yes. Played by Brian
and
Blessed. and
They
a
want
bunch
to
of other
fight
people.
against these weird Egyptian people that are like,
Egyptian people.
I mean, they're like the idea of like God Egyptian people.
Oh, okay.
They are like, hey, we
like
got
Seth.
yes, like Seth, exactly.
Yeah.
There's like a bunch of little people dancing, and they got like crazy outfits on that like make them look like squares. It's incredible looking. I don't know who any of these people are. They're just showing you a bunch of weird dudes all at once. You're like, wow,
This is
room's
what
crazy.
it must feel like to be Flash Gordon.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
they say, "Hail,
Ming.
Emperor Ming,
Yeah.
Emperor of the Universe," and the Hawk people are like, "We got this fucking ice jewel. It's sick.
Right.
It's amazing." And then these guys come up and they're like, "No, they stole it," and they start like gonna fight over it. And the right hand man of the Emperor, I can't remember his name. Do you know?
No, but he dies in my half of the movie.
He's got a cool ass design though. He's got like a big mask.
He's got a big mask.
and it like
you never see
opens
his
when he
face.
talks. You never see his face at
Yeah.
all. He's very cool looking. But
He's
basically
cool looking.
He is. I think he looks cool.
I agree. He's cool looking.
Uh-oh. I'm a little concerned by your tone of voice.
I
there.
love his face. It's so cool. You don't ever see his face, but I like his mask.
his mask is cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No one dies in this palace without the command of the Emperor. Hail Ming!" And they're like, "All right, don't stop fighting. We're just gonna deal with that later. I want to talk about these other people of Ardentia."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, this guy named Prince Thune comes up and he's like, "We are super loyal to you. We unfortunately have nothing to offer you because you blew up our entire planet.
Jesus Christ.
But we offer our loyalty instead." And Ming's like, okay, well,
He is merciless.
why don't you show how loyal you are by throwing yourself on your own sword?
Whoa.
And he's like, okay. So he gets up real close. He's like, "This is an example for all the kingdoms. Death to Ming!" And he tries to stab Ming, but then a robot
damn.
freezes him, and then Ming grabs the sword and stabs him and
Probably
kills him.
shouldn't have said
Probably
anything.
not have said anything. He just did it.
Yeah.
And then he takes his sword and stabs him with it, and the blood is blue. He's got blue blood.
Yeah, everyone's got weird
That's how
colored
you know
blood.
that's how you know they're aliens.
Yeah.
And then Flash sees all this as a prisoner and just goes, "This Ming guy is a psycho."
I kind of dig how Flash just takes things like.
He's like, that's just crazy.
I mean, I gotta
He's like
just
the
accept
main
it.
character is basically Han Solo.
Yeah.
Kinda. He's just like, this shit's ridiculous, right?
He's not even Han Solo because Han Solo doesn't even care that much. Like
No.
he's seen everything. This is sort of like this guy's seen nothing, and he like focuses in on the weirdest shit in the
He
world.
does.
Just like, oh, this guy.
But it's
seems
great
pretty
because the
crazy.
little round robot narcs on him and basically plays it over a loudspeaker and
Oh
says,
shit!
"This Ming guy is a psycho." Like, who said that? And they're like, "Oh, the fair-haired man said that because he's got a little soft blonde hair."
Right.
And there's also, by the way, this sexy lady that's walking around.
Aura.
Aura. She keeps walking around. She keeps looking
She's
at
the
him.
daughter of Ming.
She's very into Flash Gordon.
Oh
She keeps
really?
looking at him.
Interesting. But Flash already has Dale.
Exactly. He's gonna stop the Emperor's daughter from getting what she
Yeah,
wants.
That's true.
And then let's see. Flash Gordon says like, "Oh, I'm a quarterback, bro.
I play football,
They
bro.
won't know who you are." And so Zarkov's like, "So you've been attacking our planet. Why are you attacking our planet? Like, I came up here to kind of like see if there was any peace." And he's like, "Why not attack your planet?
Yeah, who cares?
Who gives a fuck?" And
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh shit."
Oh,
He's like, "Your
shit.
dumb planet keeps throwing people into the void of space, and you don't know how bad it is out here. You should just stay back there."
Oh, like astronauts.
Yeah, the astronauts keep like
Okay.
throwing themselves out there.
Yeah.
And then, if Ming couldn't get any worse, he then hypnotizes Dale to get real horny and be all like, "Ooh, I'm like really feeling myself."
Oh.
And then they ask like, "Did you have a C-section?"
Dale?
Yeah, and it's like, "No, I don't really."
Why
know
did
that.
they ask Dale
That's a
of
very
that?
strange question. I don't know. Maybe it's like if she's ever had a kid or something like that.
No, I don't know about this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. About that.
I don't know about that. I don't
And
know
then they
how it
also
treats
say
women.
someone. I think the mask man says like, "Oh, she rivals your daughter." I'm like, that's a weird thing to say to dad.
Hey man, if it's good enough
Ming's
for
pretty
Trump.
bad. Yeah, I guess you're right. You know what? Honestly, that puts a lot into perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
So they say, all right, remove the Earth Woman from this chambers. Prepare her for my pleasure. And she goes to off, and he's like, no. Flash is like, no, don't you take her. She's cool. She stays with me. And starts fucking fighting people. And he starts beating them up. And I like this scene a lot because he starts punching people. And it's so dumb because even Zarkov helps by like taking some tribute from someone that looks like a round football and throws it at him.
Oh, nice.
And so there's a whole fight scene where he's basically using a football to beat up all these guards. And by the way, everyone else kind of was like, this kind of fucking sucks. They start beating up the guards too, kind of, but not like openly. They're just kind of like,
but they're helping
like the
out.
hawk guy like punches the guy in the head every so often and knocks him out.
Right.
And the Ming's like, are you sure your guards are on the right medicine? They're getting their ass kicked. Like, what's going on?
The right medicine.
Like, they're all like, no one is like actually happy to be working under this guy. Like,
what a shock. Nobody wants to work under Ming the Merciless.
I know, right? Like, no one is really actually.
I believe we're all family. I threw a pizza party just last week.
Well, I also used the meat from one of the last guy who betrayed us as the meat. So
yeah,
I thought you guys would like it.
You guys would love this.
Yeah, you don't want to eat Stan over there? Fucking Stan the traitor? You know, don't betray me. So it starts beating him up. It's funny because like he does a thing where he sits and there's like 5 people in front of him. And it's just him by himself, and he's like, hike, 42, 43, hike, and he throws a ball right at a guy's face, and just rolls under a bunch of them and knocks him over like bowling pins. It's so goofy. I love it. And then like Dr. Zarkov throws the ball back to him, but actually hits him in the face by accident, and then the party's over because he gets knocked out.
Poor Zarkov.
Well, I mean, Zarkov doesn't get knocked out.
Oh, they said Zarkov got knocked out.
He threw the ball to Flash.
And Flash got knocked out by a ball hitting him in the head.
Oh, man, that's CTE, dude.
That's very true.
So the daughter is apparently like hangs out with Prince Baron. I guess that's like who she's betrothed to.
Baron.
I know, but it's spelled with an I. So
that's true. So he actually can't have kids.
But Aura comes up and is like, because they're like trying to figure out what to do with Flash, and she's like, I want you to save him for me. And he's like,
and Baron likes Aura.
Oh, and yeah, and then Ming's like, well, what about Baron? Like, aren't you like betrothed to him? She's like, I'll figure out a way to make it work. He's like, no, your appetites are too much, daughter. I'm gonna kill him. It's like, you're too horny on Maine. We gotta stop this. I have to refuse.
And Baron's a hot-looking guy too. Honestly, kind of hotter than Flash.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Timothy Dalton, right? So
yeah, Timothy Dalton.
So
yeah,
there you go. So he's like, all right, you know what we're gonna do with Flash? We're gonna do a public execution.
Hell yeah.
And I thought it was gonna be an electric chair. It's not. It's like an electric chair.
Why would it be an electric chair?
But it has like a thing that he sits in a chair, and it has like a little thing that goes over a head. It's a gas chamber instead. That looks like an electric chair.
That's even stranger then.
Well,
I thought it was gonna be some crazy like execution, like cutting his head off and
no, it's like gas
throwing
or whatever.
it like in Saturn or whatever.
So Aura goes up to Prince Baron and is like, go back home. I'll have a special visit for you. I got something important. And he just looks and goes,
lying bitch.
I'm like, oh my God, this is a crazy movie.
Oh my God.
And he's like, don't worry, don't you trust me? And she's like, no. And he's like, just do it for me. And he's like, fine, I'll do it. So Flash Gordon is strung up in like a weird mask. It looks like a Dark Souls mask. It's got like it's got like multiple spikes coming out of it, and he can't see anything. He's like, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
And
that's how you know
the right hand man comes and is like, you have not eaten a single bit of our food, and what do you want? You're just a strange prisoner. And he is like, I want to see Dale one last time. Okay, I'll bring in the Emperor's concubine.
Ooh.
He brings her in, and he's like, I want to see her. And they say she takes magics the mask off. He's like, you have until the time the sand runs out until, and then you guys have to part. And he pulls like this big giant hourglass and tips it over.
Seems weird.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking weird.
Why would they give him that kind of like lean?
I mean, he
leniency?
refused his last meal, so this is the next best thing I can give him.
He's merciless. Just fucking kill him.
Right? Like, this guy's like merciless, but has a code, but the code is like really bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
he doesn't want to eat, so I guess I'll just show him this lady,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna leave him be for a minute or two.
After you see someone and you're like, wow, the only other person who can relate to this whole thing, you know what he says? Damn, you look good, girl.
Damn.
And he's like,
he's got away with words.
And he's like, and she's like, oh, it's the eye makeup, I think. And he's like, yeah, it looks good. She's like, I hope I remember the trick when this is all over, like the trick to make your eyes look good.
Yeah.
I think it's really funny. And lizard people keep peeping out in the dungeon, and it looks crazy. They look weird. And they say, they're like, don't worry, this is just a dream. We'll wake up and it'll all be fine. He's like, what if it's not a dream? He's like, well, Dale, I'll die, and you work with the doctor to figure out a way to save Earth.
Right, because the moon
because the moon is being vaporized.
Right.
So then Aura's talking to the Emperor and is talking shit on this guy named Clytus. And it's like,
Clytus.
and he's just like, oh, you like going to? I heard you like going to Sibius with Clytus. And I know this is crazy, right? And Aura's like, yeah, he's a great time, and it's a great time with him. And so since he's like Dale crying because they're watching the public execution, and she's like, wow, look, water from her eyes. And it's like, it's a sign of weakness, says Ming. And I'm like, wow, what a way to make these people seem evil. They don't even cry, bro. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it's true. This is so Furiosa.
Yeah, totally.
Tears.
Don't waste the water. But at least that kind of makes sense, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, you can't waste the water. Sure, it's dry. But like just randomly in space, like, we don't cry. That's lame. That's for pussies.
Exactly.
So then they strap up Flash, and I thought he was going to get in the electric chair. Like, no, the gas. And the gas goes, and there's some sick-ass music playing as the gas starts going.
Wow. Imagine dying to the Queen soundtrack. That'd
Pretty
be
much.
awesome.
And then he dies. He's dead.
He dies. Wow, what a great ending. That's weird. That's interesting because my half the movie was just credits rolling the entire time.
Yeah, it's a long set of credits.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, wow, what are they going to do? They really kill him? It'd be I thought at first second, I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if they just had a whole Flash Gordon movie where he dies and they just did a whole other thing?
Yeah.
The 80s were crazy. Cocaine's
Yeah,
a
why
hell of a
wouldn't
drug.
they? Honestly, yeah. I can see the Coke budget in this movie.
I know. You
Yeah,
kinda can.
you really can.
So, yeah, so they give him a sick-ass tomb. Like, he has a tombstone in, like, his coffin.
That's so crazy.
And it says, like, Flash Gordon, executed by Ming. And Flash Gordon is, like, a sick font. Like, the font of, like, the cartoon. It's crazy.
That's so nuts.
Not the cartoon, the old show.
Yeah.
But Aura's so horny, dude. That she actually set up the execution doctor is the guy she was going to dates with on that one planet, and is like, bring him back to life.
So he did die.
He did die, but then he was brought back to life
That's crazy.
with this doctor, and he's like, I'll see you at this planet. And she's like, you will indeed.
So like brain, like.
So what happened beforehand is before he got killed, the doctor's like, this will make you feel better. Like, make it easier to die, and basically gives him an injection. That same injection, he goes and re-injects it when he's dead, and he comes back to life.
Okay.
All
right. Sure.
He's back to himself, and he wakes up. He's like, "How did I wake up?" And Aura's like, "I saved you. I brought you to life with magic, with a kiss from me." And
Isn't this like crazy? Like how much shit has happened within the last
dude, there's so much in this movie.
There's so and the movie never slows down.
No.
Like, there's so much shit that happens in this movie.
It's incredible.
It's too much.
It's a lot. They wanted to be Star Wars, man. You got
They
to put a lot of
really
stuff in
did.
there.
And you know what we love about the Star Wars
the thing you
movies?
forget
They're
about-
so complicated.
That's the thing you kind of forget about, like the first Star Wars movie, like New Hope.
yeah.
It's so slow and it's so quiet, and
it's-
there's like
and it's
Tatooine's like most of the
simple.
movie. Yeah,
It's simple. It's straightforward. It's like
There's a
Luke
lot of weird
wants to
stuff
get
in
up
the
the
beginning.
planet.
and then they kind of just like have this one plot of Luke.
Everything is straightforward. Like
Yeah.
this movie is like fucking seven things have started happening. Like
Yeah.
by the time I get in my half of the movie, I'm like, there's so much shit I've got to like keep track of. All these different characters with
I know.
motivations.
Anyway, she says, "Put on this stuff," and so she gives him this outfit.
Right.
It's like, "Don't worry, I'll look. I won't look." And then she looks. She's like, "Hoo, I could see you naked."
Ooh.
And then Gordon, they're walking around, sneaking around, and he sees Zarkov, and she's like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about Zarkov." And there's like a big laser pointed at him. She's like, "They're just conditioning him to live on our planet." He's like, "Oh, okay, sure, whatever." And so they walks away. But then we cut to actually what's going on, and Ming is like explaining basically his whole plot of why he's attacking Earth to him. And he's like,
I test each life system in the universe. I visit it with mysteries, earthquakes, unpredicted eclipses.
and I'm like, fucking, you just give him mysteries? Like, what a weird thing. Like, is he the one for, like, caused Jack the Ripper to go? And they're like, oh, well, it's a mystery, a test.
Yeah.
But the thing is if people think it's a natural phenomenon, then I leave them. I don't consider them a threat, and I go
Right.
away. But if they recognize it's someone doing something and they recognize someone's causing this, I call upon the great god Daizan to destroy the system for our mutual pleasure.
What?
And he's like, oh, so you're... Dr. Zarkov's like, oh, so you're destroying this planet because I actually knew you were a real
'Cause he
person.
discovered it.
And he's like, yep, exactly. This is all your fault. And I'm like, that's kind of
But
cool.
he hasn't told anybody.
No, but he still figured it out.
So he's on this planet. Like nobody on planet Earth knows this.
They don't know that. They think someone came up and discovered that it was some bullshit,
Okay.
and they're gonna fucking wipe out the whole planet because someone is clearly too smart and is a threat. If one person could do it, everyone else could be. At some point, we'll figure
Sure.
it
I
out.
guess. Well, he was discredited.
That's true, but they don't fucking. You think he's getting the New York Times up there and is like, oh, fucking discredited this guy. I guess it's fine. Like
he's not listening to Zarkov's podcast.
He's not Ming the Reasonable. All right.
That's true.
So so he's like, oh, it's my fault being destroyed. And they're like, okay, so I want to tell you this before you wipe your mind clean. So they go and they wipe his mind. And this scene is crazy because they basically show
I've heard about this scene.
A scene of just his life flash before his eyes, like going backwards. And you learn all sorts of crazy stuff. Like you see World War II. You see he escaped it's what seems to be Germany at the time.
Yeah, Nazis.
Which is crazy. And they show a picture of Hitler. And then the right-hand man is like, now that's a guy with potential. I'm like, that's crazy. That's, just in case you know he's evil.
It's honestly kind of funny where like people are like, oh man, like sci-fi movies are so woke now, and this movie straight up just like calls out Hitler and fascism.
Oh yeah,
like,
definitely
by name.
Oh totally,
yeah.
Right. And it's kind of weird because this movie obviously has its like age issues, but overall the like message of it is like pretty solid.
Yeah, it's like fascism bad.
Women are cool and they can do their own things.
Yeah.
I mean, at least in my half. I'll get to it. I thought it was cool. Maybe I don't know how the movie ends, but it seems like that.
Yeah. If this movie were released now, there would be review bombing on.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, this
Rotten
movie
Tomatoes.
seemed to review well against critics, but like not around people, which is kind of interesting. Or people, like critics aren't people, like audiences. You know what I mean?
Yeah, morons.
Anyway, they empty
General
They empty his
audiences.
head. There's like so crazy. You see like views of like crazy views like monkeys and stuff. Like this is like a whole. It takes up the whole screen too, so it's like a
Right.
very Lynchian type of like.
Kind of reminds me of like that the boat scene in Willy Wonka.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what
There's
it feels
no earthly
like.
way of knowing. Yeah.
And you see a view of him being born, and then you just see a picture of
Jesus.
him as an embryo, and then it's over. He has nothing left. He's not a person
So he's
anymore.
dumb. He's got nothing in his
Well,
brain.
then the evil right-hand man guy talks to the deprogramming evil lady and is like, hey, give him only level 3 of reprogramming because I don't think humans can take more than that. And she's like, okay, you can handle this, right? And she's like, yeah, all right, I got to go do something. So he leaves, and she's like, put it to level 6. Reprogram him to level 6. And the henchman's like, are you sure? He's like, that's an order. And then they fucking reprogram level 6. I don't know what the fuck that means.
What does that mean?
I don't fucking know, man. It's level 6. It's worse than 3, Mike. What don't you understand?
But he's. I mean,
Humans can't handle more than 3.
spoilers. He's back to normal by my half of the movie.
Maybe
so
that's why they gave him too much that he came back to human, bro.
I guess so.
Like reprogrammed him back to human.
All right. Cool.
Anyway, Flash Gordon's flying a plane now with Aura, a spacecraft. Because
a plane.
it's a spacecraft.
Yeah.
He's flying it, and Aura's teaching him while like kissing on him and like basically being like a horny little lady sitting on him.
Right. Or is
And-
all up for that Flash.
She's all up for that Flash. In
Yeah.
fact, she's so distracting that he starts flying the plane into like, spacecraft into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no ground in space, so down. Off
Right.
course, I'll say. And he's like, if you see she points out like a moon. It's like, this is the moon of Morgo. And every moon in Morgo is a different kingdom. And my dad keeps them all fighting against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And Flash is like, why don't they all team up and overthrow him? And she's like, team up? What does that mean? What? I know, right? It's like, what do you fucking think? It's like people, she doesn't understand that like people can't like team up because they want to. It's just like the only way to exert power is through sheer power, right?
I suppose
like, unity
so.
is through
It's just
sheer
so
power.
funny that you would be like, team up.
I know, it's so stupid, right? And then she's like, maybe you can show me on my pleasure moon. He's like, okay, I guess. I don't really like this,
They
but
like
sure.
fly towards the moon. It's just a giant tit.
Yeah, pretty much. I would love that. So then Dale is like now working with all the other pleasure workers and is like, and one of the pleasure workers is like, hey, so we got this drink for you.
Right.
It makes the night easier with the Emperor.
Ah, yes, I've heard about this
And
drink.
she's like, will it make me forget? And she says, no, but it'll make it so you don't mind remembering. I'm
Oof.
like, oh, that's kind of a good line, but also fucked up.
It's very fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like how this Ming the Merciless treats ladies.
Yeah, I can't believe he's a bad guy.
Yeah,
It's
he's
really
a bad
crazy.
guy. Yeah, Flash would never.
Flash would never. So she's like, all right, fine, I'll drink it. And she's like, oh, it's actually pretty good. Not bad.
What do you think it tastes like? What did it look like? What did it taste like?
I bet it's like green, so I feel like it tastes like melted green Otter Pops.
Ooh,
Which is pretty good, probably.
That sounds pretty good.
So Dale is getting a drink now from like one of the other pleasure workers.
The concubines.
Yeah. Oh wait, I'm repeating myself. I apologize.
You are.
We're
I
back
was
to
gonna
Aura.
say.
We're back to Aura.
All right.
And she thinks that she's going to talk to the Baron through telepathy. And he's like, what the fuck? What's telepathy, dude? I love to think that he's just a stoner, like surfer guy.
Like
Just
this is the voice.
Yeah,
He's a deedle.
he has the hair of a surfer dude, right? Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah.
blonde and long blonde hair. He's like,
He looks kind of like you.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, bro, totally. I'm gonna be in
He
Ted.
looks
I'm gonna be in
just
Ted
like
3.
him. Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna talk to Baron to get through telepathy. And he's like, can you teach me to do that to connect Dale? He's like, I could, but I won't. And he's like, I'm gonna fucking crash the plane unless you tell me. He's like, no, don't do that. Fine, I'll show you. And then they connect. And he's like, okay, do the telepathy, and connects to Dale. And Dale's like, you're fucking dead, dude.
So he learns telepathy?
He learns telepathy, but it's like they use like a little
Machine?
like Professor X style shit. Where they put it on
Oh,
his
yeah,
brain.
yeah.
Cerebro type thing.
Yeah.
And he talks.
That's
to
how
her.
Professor
he
X
connects
finds all the mutants.
exactly.
It's
And
through
this is how he
Cerebro.
finds his lady friend.
That's
it's
right.
much more simple.
See, I read the comic books.
And you're so smart. You're a real nerd, dude.
I'm a real nerd, bro.
So then she's like, you're still alive? I thought this was a dream. And he's like, yeah, no, I escaped. I got brought back to life by Aura. And she's like, oh, that's crazy. Well, I'm stuck here with the Emperor in his
And
bed in his
we're gonna
bedchamber.
fuck. Yeah.
And he says the craziest shit that I did not expect this movie to come up with.
Where are you?
In a rocket, racing to Arborea to get help. Are you okay? Over?
I'm locked in Ming's bedroom.
Fake him out.
How?
Girls know how, Dale. It's been done to me.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Holy shit.
What the fuck is this?
What is happening? Honestly, there are moments like this where I'm like, this is not Star Wars anymore.
No, it's Horny Wars.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then the thing is, he's still connected to telepathy, and Aura's like all kissing up on him and like
Yeah.
rubbing, like grinding up on him.
Right.
And then he just has the thought, oh my God, this girl's really turning me on. And he broadcasts it to Dale, and Dale's like, wait, what? And she's like, no, it's someone else. Wait, I gotta go.
Oh my God.
Fucking weird.
Oh my God.
It's crazy, man. So we cut back to Dale, and Dale is like, has a slave lady come up to her, and she's like, oh, here's your drink for, hanging out with the Emperor or
Hanging out
whatever.
with the Emperor.
Yeah, hanging out.
Yeah.
And she's like, have you ever had any of this? Like, no, slaves are not allowed to drink it. He's like, why don't you take some, man? I insist. I'm like, cool. And I'm like, are you not a slave yourself by like being in the pleasure chamber?
Yeah, I feel like you're also a slave.
I feel like you're not here
but
by
there's
will.
like lower slaves.
Yeah,
right?
I guess so,
Yeah.
right?
There's levels of slaves.
Sure,
you know?
there's like
there's
slaves-
entry level slaves, and then there's like
slaves-
supervisory slaves.
Yeah.
Middle manager slaves.
Yeah. And then sylphs. Slaves I
Sylphs.
like to fuck.
Yeah.
That's what he says. Just fucked up, but Ming's a bad guy.
Ming's a bad guy.
We've
You're
established
not
this.
saying this. He's saying this.
He's saying this.
Yeah, he said that straight up.
He said,
Yeah.
you're a sylph.
He's
Send
bad.
her to the sylph place.
He treats women poorly. He wears yellow face. He's a bad guy. There's nothing
He
to
fucking
like
kills
about
people. He
Big
says people
Merciless.
stand on their sword for like loyalty or whatever.
Yeah, he's
you
a
know?
bad guy.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah, it's been established.
So she's like, all right, cool, I'll drink it. She's like, wow, this is pretty good. And then Zarkov's fully fucking, reprogrammed. He's like, I'm Agent Zarkov. I mean, I'm Doctor. No, I'm Agent. So it's like, clearly it's not quite working.
Right. Level 6 is
deprogramming.
not big enough.
Maybe they need to go farther. So she
Yeah.
lands on the Pleasure Moon. And man, the Pleasure Moon looks like Dagobah. Like from
Really?
Star Wars. You have to see it in your half. It's a little green planet.
Oh, I didn't know that was the pleasure moon. This is
That's
the
what they say.
last thing I would have thought
Sure.
was a pleasure moon.
Right? It looks like a fucking weird swamp thing.
This
and
looks-
she's like, oh, it's so musty here. I'm like, what the fuck are you
This
talking
is
about?
not pleasurous at all. This looks like fucking swamp ass.
And
Like,
I'm pretty sure I'm right. And I'm questioning them because it's so ridiculous. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. It's the Pleasure Planet.
I've never heard it be referred to as the pleasure moon, but I know that
But they
this
also
is
never
where
call it
Baron
anything
is.
else. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's her little fuck place.
I would
guess.
not want to fuck here.
Yeah, you probably get some
This
sort of
looks-
weird flesh-eating virus
I
that
feel
goes
like
up your
if you
dick.
fuck here, like you're getting like a yeast infection. Just,
Absolutely.
Yeah, walking around.
Definitely like a brain-eating amoeba or some shit.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
bad.
Yeah. It's one of those things where like you go swimming and then like a thing like swims up
Absolutely,
your
it's
dick hole.
100% that. It's
what it
just
feels
funny that
like.
she's like, it's not usually this bad looking. And I'm
What
like,
does it usually look
It's
like?
like, what's it like?
I
happy?
imagine like a pleasure planet. It's like covered in pillows.
But it looks like Dagobah, right? Like where Yoda
No,
hangs out.
that is what it looks like. But if I'm
With the
imagining
chic
a
mixed
pleasure
in.
planet, I would imagine like pillows everywhere. You
Yeah.
know, like
Nah,
like
man.
springs of like
No, dude.
lube.
Well, they have other things that are sexual in here,
Oh yeah.
but I'll get to it later. So Ming goes to his bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
or goes to his bedroom. Is like, oh, I'm so excited to like good with this lady. And also, I have to ask you, his bedroom has
Yeah.
a big circular bed in the middle of
Yes.
it. What do you think about circular beds? Like big circular ones. I've never had the pleasure in sleeping in one.
Neither have I. I don't know.
Do you think it'd
that'd
be cool? I think it'd be kind of cool, right?
I think it'd be kind of cool to be able to like look around the entirety of your room without being
I'm
next to
worried about the pillows falling off. That's my biggest
that
issue.
place is it's called it's the fucking it's like
The
a big
bed's huge.
pillow.
Yeah, it's a big bed
It's
too.
like a big and the
So it's
pillow is
got-
like one big or the bed is one big pillow essentially.
No, there's definitely like actual pillows.
There
on it,
are
too.
actual pillows, but the bed itself is so comfortable looking.
I
like,
guess that's true.
You don't really need a pillow.
Yeah. Anyways,
There's no headboard obviously on that thing.
That's what I'm saying. The bill's gonna fly off.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. He then sleeps in a crib. He doesn't want any pillows to fall off.
If I could, I would. If I could. I don't.
He doesn't want to fall
The
out
amount
of
of times I
his
had to pick up pillows off the floor is too much.
bed. If only he had a little
I
crib.
need a little sleepy baby
Yeah.
crib. I could jump in and like do a hurdle over it every time I go to bed. Time to wind down for bed, babe. Whoa!
Ugh! No pillow better fall out of it.
Let me tell you. So Ming finds it's like, oh, I'm gonna get all sexy, and he pulls up the curtain.
Ming's gonna get all sexy.
and it pulls up the lady, and she's the slave girl. So
Oh my
Dale.
gosh,
But
she
they
got
swapped.
tricked.
They swapped outfits. So Dale's running around in a little slave outfit around the castle, and she is going badass mode.
Hell
She's
yeah.
like doing like hitman tactics of like, it's like coming behind a place and going like, woohoo, over here, and he comes over, and the dumb guard comes over and is like, what? And she fucking kicks his ass,
Yeah.
and steals his gun, murks the
Damn.
guy, and then. She does like a crazy flip in front of another guard, like a cartwheel, and then fucking shoots him with a gun.
Jesus
I'm like, where'd she
Christ.
learn all this? This is crazy. Too woke, bro. Mary Sue.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Mary
Yeah,
Sue,
women
she-
having any kind of power.
Any kind of
or-
power,
yeah,
too crazy, dude.
That's true.
She gets another gun and shoots another security guard, and whacks him with another security guard, and like just starts taking out all these guys. And they, of course, she's on security cameras. That's her
Obviously,
downfall. The
obviously.
security cameras see
They
her.
they
and
catch
so the
her.
reprogramming lady, which I guess is maybe the head of security, is like, "Hey, send Agent Zarkov after her." He's like, "All right."
Oh no, not
I
Zarkov.
know he's reprogrammed.
But he's not perfectly reprogrammed.
But she finds Zarkov and starts spilling all these details. Zarkov's like, hey, so like Flash Gordon's actually still alive, dude. He talked to me through telepathy. And he's like, whoa, that's crazy. Don't worry. I know a great place to leave. It's like, we can't trust him.
We can't trust him. He's been reprogrammed.
Exactly. So they're like, we're going to follow. Don't bring him in yet. Follow him. We're going to see exactly where Flash Gordon is because I can't believe he's dead.
But he's alive.
But I can't believe he's alive. Excuse me. And so the evil mask guy is there and is like, listen, Emperor, Flash Gordon turns out is still alive. And he's like, what? We have to kill him through any means necessary. And he's like, I got some weird methods. And you said any means necessary, right? He's like, yes, any means necessary.
What
He's
are the
like,
weird methods?
no matter, he doesn't mention, he just applies.
Dildos.
He just implies weird methods.
Cock and ball torture.
I'm pretty sure he's just going to kill his daughter.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Daughter?
Yeah, the Emperor Ming's daughter,
Oh,
Aura.
okay.
And he
okay,
says,
okay.
like, no matter who, right? And he's like, I don't care who. Just kill Flash Gordon. He's like, all right, I'll do it. So I'm implying that probably at some point he's going to kill
He is
the-
pretty merciless.
Not him. This is the right-hand man. The right-hand man guy.
I see.
He's going to do all this.
No, I know, but merciless. He's.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. Yeah.
But he also probably would care if it was his daughter. But
Maybe.
It's not implied. Stop at nothing, he says. Anyway, we go back to Kashyyyk. And
That's a good, funny joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it, though.
It does look like Kashyyyk.
It's Kashyyyk and Dagobah combined. Which is
Yeah.
like, if Kashyyyk wasn't gassy enough, you got that Dagobah gas.
More like a shit.
Yes, honestly, yeah. Chewbacca's just over there, fucking farting up.
It's like this is like where all the toilets in Kashyyyk look.
The Wookiees got shit somewhere, bro. They
That's
got a
true.
delicate ecosystem.
I've never seen a Wookiee shit. Imagine Wookiee shitting. That shit gets all. They have to get dingleberries.
It's got to be nasty.
It's got to be awful.
Mike, by the way, is leaned back in his chair all
I
the
am
way.
so fucking comfy right
He's
now.
so comfy talking about.
Just imagining-
just him sitting back, being like, Kashyyyk, bro.
Can you?
It's basically what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm up here with all my notes.
I
He's
am-
just chilling.
I'm waiting for my half to.
It's
to start
almost
up.
here,
I
bro.
know, but I'm just imagining fucking like imagine a Wookiee shitting. Like imagine what that must feel like.
I feel like they just stick their asses off like a pirate does or like a sailor does. They
Right.
stick their asses off of those weird walkways they got.
Right.
and
They just
poop,
shit down
and they
below.
Just shit down below.
Yeah. I know they aren't on the same planet as the
Ewoks.
The Ewoks, but imagine.
I
a
think they
Wookiee-
have the same vibe. They have the same like system of
Imagine them shitting on an Ewok. How great would that be? And then Ewok just like, "Rah!" And then like a fucking
It'd be
like
so
shit
good.
just lands on them.
like.
and they-
Oh, that's a fucking Jawa. My bad.
Come on, dude. Embarrassing.
Stop the podcast. Don't hang out Star Wars.
All right, so yeah, they're on Kashyyyk.
They're on Kashyyyk.
They're on Kashyyyk.
And Aura's like, oh, you hear that noise? And he's like, what is that noise? It's like a new initiate's being initiated.
Yes.
And they're like, we got to wait outside until it's done. And this man seems like he's getting fucked. Like he's getting pleasure fucked in this weird thing. And they're like, we're going to watch it. And they're banging drums to this guy going, Sounds like he's nutting inside this like giant like wood thing.
Right.
And they go to him, and this little guy like is like, hey, I'm an adult. I have adult things I want to do. And this older guy is like punching this like thing inside of this weird like wood structure.
Yes, the wood
and it's
structure.
like a weird like scorpion thing is like poking out.
Right.
And he's like, I want to be an adult. I want to be initiated to be an adult. I want to choose my rite of passage. And that's the end of my half.
Right. So first thing I said, I wrote down, Austin Butler sticks his hand in a log. Kind of looks like Austin Butler, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Looks like an Austin Butler, like a young Tom Waits.
Mm-hmm. What do we do?
And he sticks his hand in the log, and then he gets stung, and they immediately kill him because apparently getting stung by the beast inside of the log will drive you mad and crazy.
Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy. So he dies. So that guy dies. He's not going to be an initiate. This reminded me a lot of Dune, sticking your hand in a thing.
Yeah. Testing it, yeah.
So Aura talks to Baron, and she's like, "Look, Flash is alive. I want you to protect him." And Baron's like, "Fuck that guy. Fucking hate that guy." Yep. And Aura's like, "If you kill him or if he dies, then I will never fuck you." And the Baron's like, "I cannot have that. I will make sure that nothing bad befalls."
Yeah, I did mention. I forgot the Baron was just hanging out there watching the ritual.
Right. This is like his like weird merry men. I get the feeling the Baron is sort of like a Robin Hood character.
He has that vibe, but he's also like evil Robin Hood.
He's
right?
right now he is.
Oh.
So I just wrote down, okay, what is happening? Some guy is happy that he remembers Shakespeare and the Beatles. I now know that that's Zarkov. I don't know.
Yes.
He's flying through space with
So,
Dale.
yeah, he's riding with Dale. They're gonna try to get.
I don't know how he now remembers Shakespeare and the Beatles, but he's very happy about it.
I guess the human mind is so strong and powerful.
Baron lowers Flash into a swamp.
Sure.
Because he's like, I'm not gonna kill you, but like you're gonna be uncomfortable in there. And he's like, I don't want to be uncomfortable. I just wrote down, there's so much bad green screen. The green screen in this movie is fucking bad, dude.
I don't think I really noticed it that much. I thought it was just weird sets. I was so like
some of the sets are great.
I love the colors in this movie. I guess
love
I didn't
how colorful
I didn't
it
see the
is.
weird like shit. I didn't see too much of it, so I thought it looked okay. But I could see this part being kind of
Them
bad.
flying through space is pretty bad, and then
Yeah,
like
it's kinda bad.
once they're on Kashyyyk.
But the thing is, it's like it's so trippy and weird that I can kind of forgive it because it's like weird.
If I was drunk or high, I'd probably enjoy this movie a lot more.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, Aura's tortured for information, and they say, "Give her the boar worms." And Aura's like, "No, my dad will be upset when he learns that you are torturing me for information about the boar worms."
What do they do? They make her they probably start talking to her about like the performance of the Intel CPUs compared to the AMD process of the CPUs, and they were talking about like, is it Alder Lake better than Crater Lake? Because the thing is like you'd think that more cores would be better. So if you have like 8 cores, you're like, that's better. But the thing is you could have 6 cores that run at a higher clock speed.
Right.
It would actually be more efficient. But it does depend on the program. So like if your goal is to work on like a graphics-based program.
So they're gonna put boar worms on her.
Okay. Sorry, my bad. I got the boar worms.
I know.
out.
I needed to stop him. This would have been the rest of the episode. She's like, once my dad learns about this, and it's revealed that Ming is totally cool with all this. He doesn't give a fuck about his daughter, basically, because he's merciless.
Yeah.
So I also wrote, oh shit, Ming is clearly wearing yellow face, and that's Max von Sydow.
A bit rough.
Oh,
At least he's not doing a weird accent, right?
No, he's not doing a weird accent, but that doesn't.
No,
that's not better.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
thinking about Mickey Rooney. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. He
Where it's just,
doesn't.
like,
He's not
really,
doing
really
the
bad.
accent. That's true. Prince Voltan is the head of the hawk people, the bird people.
Yeah.
Should we call him Prince Voltan?
Man, those outfits though.
They look so uncomfortable.
I love them.
They gotta be
look
riding
crazy.
up in some really uncomfortable
absolutely.
places.
Oh my
I read that apparently they couldn't sit down because the wings were too long. So So in order to relax, they had to lie down on their stomachs.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So he's rescued Topal. I didn't know his name was Zoltan yet, and Dale. And they're like, all right, we're gonna turn you into Ming the Merciless. But then they're like, no, Flash is alive, and if you save Flash, then we can all gang up together and we can strike against Ming because they also hate Ming. The winged people, they're basically like a bunch of like warrior class.
Yeah, they're the people who are trying to give the salt gift or whatever the thing was, and they're like, but they also started helping fight.
Right. They don't like Ming, but they also, even though they're big like warriors, like I don't know how to describe them, but they're like barbarian warriors. Yeah. They are also sort of like a little cowardly.
Sure.
I guess. So yeah, the Baron, Baron is like, hey man, I fucking hate Flash. And then his right-hand man, who's played by Riff Raff from Rocky Horror, is there.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he's there and he's like, I kind of get the vibe that like he was kind of into Baron, but he also was like, I get that that nothing's probably going to happen between the two of us. So he's like, well, here's the thing, right? Flash, you don't like him. And Aura said, don't kill him. But there is a beast that's in a log, and if Flash gets like stung by the beast, he might want you to kill him because he'll go mad. So Baron's like, oh, that's a great idea. So he basically gets Flash to put his hand into the log, and he's like, all right, we're gonna put our hands in logs. So there's a whole scene of them just putting the hand in the log.
Such a weird. If you had no idea what was in that log.
I saw one shot of the thing that was like the beast inside the log. So I luckily understood like.
Well, you did realize they went insane. So
I understood the stakes, but I was also not that like impressed by this scene of just guys putting hands in logs.
Yeah.
So Flash is not stung and tricks the Baron, acting as if he was stung, taking the Baron's sword and escapes. Flash then immediately sinks into quicksand, but then he climbs out, and then a giant inflatable monster grabs him. And in this moment, I'm like, what is happening? Like, so he's caught by the Baron. He puts his hand in a log. He escapes the log. He runs off. He gets caught in quicksand. He climbs out of the quicksand. And he gets caught by another monster. Like, why didn't you just get caught by the monster? Like, why is this movie so... It's like just fucking putting all this shit... And it's like, at this point, I'm like, oh yeah, Flash Gordon is based on like a television serial. So like all these scenes are basically just like how like... These are all episodes of Flash Gordon, like stacked one after the other, after the other, after the other, right?
Which are all like, I think those serials are like super short, right? They're like 10, 15 minutes,
15, like 20 minutes. Yeah. I don't know. It's like, but like, simplify. It was so aggravating.
It's fan service, dude.
So the inflatable monster grabs Flash. Baron shows up and shoots the monster, but he only shoots the monster because he wants to kill Flash himself. But then the Voltans show up and they save Flash. I also wrote down, apparently the moon is going to crash into the earth in 14 hours. Yet another thing I have to keep in mind.
Yep, it's Majora's Mask shit.
Yeah, Voltan forces Flash and Baron to fight each other to the death on a big, moving, spiky platform. It's a pretty great fight scene because this platform is like moving and then spikes pop out and everyone's getting cut and like covered in blood.
Cool.
And Dale's like, Flash, in 14 hours, the moon's going to crash into the earth, so hurry this up already. And I'm like, girl... I am fighting to the death here.
You know what I realize is that both in Star Wars and this movie, they both had the main lady protagonist dress up in a slave outfit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
For different reasons.
Yeah,
one was her choice. This one was her choice, though.
She wanted a. She was
using it to escape.
Yeah, that's true. But in
Star
both,
Wars.
they were put in positions of like subservience.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, Lucas, he's a pervert. You know, what can I say? So, anyway, Flash ends up saving Baron. Okay. Basically, Baron's going to die. And then Flash saves him. And Baron's like, you know what? I'm loyal to you now. We're friends forever. Now, you know, he doesn't hate Flash anymore, basically.
Sure.
And suddenly Ming's henchman arrives. And Ming's like, the Ming's henchman, the one with the mask, right? And he's just like, hello, everyone. Once Ming hears you guys are here, you will all die. I have him on the phone here, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. And I'm like, man, this guy's really like imposing and scary.
He's got a cool mask.
He's got a cool mask. He's got a great voice. You know, he's very threatening.
A really cool voice.
And then Flash just grabs him and throws him like onto the moving platform, and he falls onto the spikes.
I was gonna say, that guy did not look very. Whoa, that's how he dies. Mike's showing me a picture of this man.
Yeah,
his like tongue's hanging out,
and his
eyes are like
pop
bulging.
out of his mask. Yeah, he looks like a dead cow or something that's been inside of his
and inflated.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's a crazy way to kill this guy, and it's just like, wow, this guy was so imposing. He just dies like instantly.
I mean, he's a real Boba Fett.
That's true.
Right?
Honestly, he kind of is, or almost like a Darth Maul, even kind of.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure, I'll buy that.
So Ming arrives and he takes everyone prisoner, but he leaves This is like at Voltan's like palace, I guess, like the Hawk People's palace.
Mm-hmm.
He takes everyone prisoner, but he leaves.
You know, I realized Flash Gordon is showing Aura teaming up.
That's right. And Aura,
Yeah.
well, Aura's not here.
Well, I mean beforehand.
When?
What, earlier? Wasn't she there for like the whole like, oh, we're gonna tell Baron and like he's gonna come on our side and stuff like that?
Nope.
Where was she?
She is back on Ming's. Remember, she's being tortured by Ming.
Oh fuck, you're right. She had the worms.
So
Okay.
she doesn't
I thought
know
that was
this
in the
yet.
same spot for some reason. I don't know why.
No.
Wait,
It's
why
probably
did she
Ming.
go back there?
She went back because it'd be like everyone be like, "Where's the fucking daughter of the?"
Oh, okay. She
the
just went for save face.
yeah, exactly.
Damn, never mind.
No, she doesn't learn
Teaming up.
from this.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Ming arrives and leaves Flash and speaks with him on the Voltan's like palace, and he's like, "Here, look, I'm gonna give you a kingdom. I want you to rule Earth after all the people have become enslaved, and that's great, right? Don't you want to be a ruler? Don't you want to own a kingdom?" And Flash is like, "No, that seems like a pretty bad choice. I don't
Seems
know.
lame. I just want to play football, bro.
Yeah, bro. I don't want everyone to be a slave." And Ming's like, "Hey, man, I'll fucking get it, but whatever. I'm just gonna leave you here." So Ming gets on his ship and just starts shooting at the palace that he's left Flash on, basically killing him. But Flash is so lucky he escapes on a rocket cycle, which is referenced in Ted. That's the thing that he's flying on in Ted.
Sure.
You're right. So that's what he does. He's fine. But everyone thinks that he's dead again. This is the second time everyone thinks he's dead.
You know what though?
What happened?
If I was as much of a stoner as Ted was, I'd absolutely be like
watching this movie?
Ape shit for this movie. This movie's got so many colors.
It's got a lot of colors.
So many things just happen.
And it's absolutely in the right time period for Seth MacFarlane. Like as
100% is like a youth to be like, wow, what's this movie? Whoa,
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with this.
You're gonna watch
It
this.
did
in my
become like a
dorm
cult
room.
hit, basically.
Are you just looking up shit about this movie while I'm talking about the plot?
Yeah, Mike. I'm trying to bring other facts while listening to the plot.
That's fair. Yeah, you're listening to the plot. You didn't know where Aura was.
Okay, I did that. I was not looking up facts yet. The movie's very fucking confusing
I understand.
to see where everything's going.
So, Aura and Dale catfight on a bed. Now, do I have your attention? I know. Hachi Machi. Aura gives Dale
Flash my Gordon.
Aura gives Dale poison to slip into Ming's boner juice because on their wedding night, Ming has to drink a juice so that he can achieve a boner. Okay? And
He's got like space Viagra.
yes, he got space Viagra juice that he
Damn,
drinks.
That's crazy.
Then Flash arrives and he's on the little like rocket motorcycle and he calls up Voltan, the Hawk people, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm alive." And Voltan's like, "Bro, I thought you were dead. We felt really bad for being so cowardly and leaving you.
Yeah.
We will never do that again. We will
damn.
always support you."
Loyalty, baby.
That's right. So Flash arrives.
They're teaming up.
He shows up. He's going to save Dale. And Ming's army cannot seem to shoot him down from the sky, which is fucking hilarious because he's on this tiny little slow like motorcycle, basically. And we just keep hearing, "Flash!" But we do not hear the rest of the song. And it's like edging. It's like, come on, give me the rest of the song.
Well, you had to watch the intro, bro. You had to watch the beginning.
Apparently. So Voltan and the bird people show up and they help Flash. And some of them get shot down. Like, it's so funny because it's supposed to be like impressive, but it's like guys in fucking slow wings getting shot down out of the sky. I'm like, you guys are not that imposing against a giant ship. But eventually they blow a hole in the ship. They take over the ship. Aura rescues Baron and Voltan, or whatever the fuck his name is. What the fuck is his name? Not Voltan. What the fuck is his name? The scientist, Topol.
Zurkov.
Zurkov rescues Baron and Zurkov before their execution because they're about to be executed. 3-minute countdown until Earth is destroyed. General shoots down the ship that Flash is on, and Flash continues to pilot it because he's like, I gotta crash the ship into something in order to stop the moon. I'm very confused about what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's going to stop the moon
with that, but sure.
I don't know how he's going to do it because he's not even close to it. Who cares? So anyway, Baron.
He's going through the Death Star trench run. I get it. Yeah.
Baron kills the general.
So many 300 yard or 300 yard. So many 70-yard passes that Flash Gordon's done. That
exactly. It's a real Hail Mary.
It's easy mode. Yeah.
If you look at it. Oh God. Topal is trying to find a way to deactivate the lightning field to help Flash.
Yeah, man. The force field. Yeah.
None of this shit fucking matters. I'm reading all this. I'm like,
It,
no,
it does feel like they
it's all
literally
gobbledygook.
saw Star Wars and were like, we're gonna make something like that, but we don't really understand why it works.
Yeah, we don't really understand how to make this look good either.
No.
Ming marries Dale as his queen for the hour.
Queen for the hour.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
The officiant I recognized as Grady from The Shining.
Oh,
Another character actor in this movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, a lot of cool
I
character
love
actors.
big actors in this.
So Flash, driving the ship that's basically being shot down, crashes into the wedding, impaling Ming on the front of the ship,
That's pretty fucking cool.
which is awesome. And Ming, I think, sucks himself into some kind of magical ring.
Okay.
And I guess that means that the Earth is now safe.
Here's the thing, Mike.
Sure.
So much of this, you're like, you missed this, you missed that. Even while watching it, I'm still like, I don't know how this really happened.
How did the ring work?
How does this weird gas work? How does this guy get revived with this little like injection thing?
How did the scientist retrieve his memories?
I don't know. It seemed like he got level 6 wiped or level 6 reprogrammed.
I don't know. So Baron becomes the new king of Mongo.
Wish there was a Wikipedia for Flash Gordon.
There's got to be, right? A Flashypedia.
Flashypedia. Ooh.
Gordonpedia. Voltan runs the army. Bird people spell out Flash in the sky. It's the end of the movie. But there's a little question mark at the end.
Oh yeah, for the sequel.
Because the sequel is definitely coming. And that's the end of the movie.
Wow.
What a mess.
What a messy film.
What a mess.
It was kind of fun. It was kind of fun watching it though.
I think I would have had a lot more fun watching it with people.
Yeah,
watching
for sure.
it alone.
I
not a
definitely
fun
get
time.
that. I get that. I think it would be a lot of fun watching people because so much weird shit just happens.
Yeah.
I was entertained enough by just the ridiculousness of it and how like it kind of just went for it.
Yeah.
And how
I appreciate
how
that.
like weirdly sincere it was in its sci-fi.
It was very sincere. I also kind of dug how much of it was like kind of like perverted.
Yeah, it was very horny.
Yeah, it was a very horny movie, which is not what Star
like,
Wars
it kinda,
is at all.
It's kind of came out on like mostly. I feel like it mostly came out like this shit's fucking bad. All right, women have power. They can do their own
I think the
things.
cat fight scene definitely didn't need to happen.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I didn't see that part. You're right.
Yeah, but whatever. It's whatever.
I didn't-
It's the 80s.
It's 80s. Queen
Everyone
did
was
the
on coke.
Queen did not just do the theme song. They did the whole soundtrack. Besides Tommy, this is like one of the
It's a
other
great
movies
soundtrack.
that also was like completely done by like a huge rock band.
It's a great soundtrack.
It's
Oh, come on. Are you talking about what about Maximum Overdrive, which was done by AC/DC, bro?
But weren't those mostly like licensed tracks?
No, they did the entire score.
Oh shit, you're right. This
Come on.
this is earlier though. This is in the 80s.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
This is in the 80s. This is like besides this, Tommy was in 1975. It was like kind of like a new thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, that part was sick. Like
The music was
having
great.
having like this weird trippy ass soundtrack. while
Again,
they're,
I
like,
think if
blowing
I was
through.
watching this under any kind of influence,
Yeah, I think that's it.
not paying attention, it would be great.
It would be really good.
But this movie did kind of bomb. It did not make the numbers
Yeah.
that they were expecting. Yet another bomb for our box office bomb list that sort of is overstaying its
yeah,
welcome.
it kind of made a bump. I think I love how we have all this like residual bombs.
Yeah.
It's kind of what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, people just don't like us watching good movies, so this is what happens.
No, this is kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is though, is like this movie's not exactly like super bad. It's just like weird.
Yeah.
And like doesn't quite come
Doesn't
together.
really work.
It's interesting to watch, but I don't think it's a good movie, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna go out and be like, bro, you're missing out watching.
It's not a hidden.
It's a great one for Leo Logan to suggest for us.
Thank you,
because
Leo Logan,
I had
to
a great
suggest this
time
movie.
talking about how crazy this movie was.
Yeah.
Apparently there was an animated film was under development with Taika Waititi
Whoa.
to write and direct this, but it got canceled.
What a shock.
But in 2021, it's gonna be apparently a live action movie at some point.
Who would you cast as Flash Gordon? Chris Hemsworth.
I feel like it needs to be someone a little bit like fresher on the
Younger.
slate. A little bit like Chris Hemsworth's getting up there a little bit. Like he's not old.
Yeah,
by
yeah,
any
yeah, he's
means,
getting
but you need to
old.
be someone like slightly younger.
He's an old man.
like quarterback style, right? Like
Right.
who's in their like mid-20s maybe.
Who's
that's kind
really
of
muscular.
That's kind of a rising star. I can't really think of anyone. I feel like the problem is like we used to get a lot of our like
Zach Efron.
no,
he's too old.
He's too old now.
Yeah.
Like everyone's a little.
I'm just thinking about the Iron. Was it Iron Claw or whatever the fuck?
Iron Claw. Yeah.
The guys in that movie because they were like muscular.
I feel like anyone from the Iron Claw could work. Sure, I feel like they might be a little too old, but maybe that's okay.
we got to find a young face, right? No, it's just an unknown.
Because I guess like Flash Gordon also is like not. Yeah, because Flash Gordon himself when he was cast,
he was
is, like,
unknown
he's
and he
kind of
couldn't
an
act
unknown.
either, so it was great. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Now,
He
who
was
would play
redubbed.
Ming the Merciless? What white
Ooh.
guy would play Ming the Merciless?
Oh yeah. They have to do something about that name, right? Because the name is just like inherently yellowface.
Well, they could just get like an Asian actor to play Ming.
Dude, that's fucking crazy. I never even thought about that.
They didn't need to get a white guy to play him.
That's a very. I don't know why I didn't consider it as
Yeah.
a big. Like the character himself is automatically racist.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
I
he
mean,
just has to be.
it is definitely like a yellow scare thing.
Oh, for
right?
sure.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
could just not get a white guy to play him.
Yeah, they could take him back and make him kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, obviously he's still a bad guy, but they could make him less like.
They
a
could
fucking super
they could hire
problematic-
other people of color to play other characters in the movie, so it's
That's
not just the
crazy.
one white. Like, yeah,
bunch of white
exactly.
aliens running around. There were a couple people who were not white in the aliens.
I have a feeling that Brian Blessed, the guy that plays the winged guy, I feel like he's wearing brown face too, but I'm not sure.
I thought they were just weird Vikings.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's
don't know.
tan, I thought, but
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. Hard to tell. It was weird Technicolor type like 80s
It
shit.
was very colorful. It's a very pretty looking
It's a fun
film.
movie to watch. I can see why
I
Ted
liked-
loves it.
I like Dale. Dale was cool.
Dale was cool. Zurkov, cool. All you know, even Flash Gordon, pretty all right.
Pretty okay guy.
He's
a
kind of
himbo.
bland. He's kind of bland though, right?
Apparently, Kurt Russell was originally gonna play this character. He was
Oh.
originally hired,
I could totally see that.
but he said there wasn't enough personality, and so
There
he didn't
really
want to play
isn't. That's
him.
the thing I was kind of noticing is like kind of near the end of my half. I'm like, I don't really know anything about this guy except that he plays football.
That's all.
That's his
all
like
you need.
defining trait is that he plays football.
We need a good himbo. We need a good himbo for
We need
this
a himbo
character.
with like some charisma though.
yeah,
right?
good charismatic.
That's why like I feel like
himbo.
you going to Chris Hemsworth casting him was good, but we need to find.
We
an
need a
unknown.
young Chris Hemsworth. Is there any? Did Chris Hemsworth have a kid? Is there
Any other brothers that
Is
are
there
younger?
any other Hemsworth that we don't know about? Yeah,
don't know.
exactly. They got to exist. Guys, do you know any Chris Hemsworths out there? Email us at email@podcast.com. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're on Threads. We're on Discord. And if you want to listen to our previous episodes, find them on any podcatching app. And while you're there, please leave a 5-star rating and review. We will read it in the show no matter what it says, even if you are not Chris Hemsworth. But we would prefer it if you were. That'd be pretty great. We'd like you in Furiosa.
Tom Holland. There you go. Throw him in there.
Oh, God.
It's funny because
Hey, guys, I'm just Flash
I
Gordon
typed
over
in
here.
I typed in rising male stars and it popped up with like fucking Ryan Gosling.
No, what are you
That
talking?
motherfucker's
Ryan
40
Gosling.
He's fucking 43 years
Guy's
old,
almost
dude.
50 years old.
Oh my god! And they put Anna Taylor-Joy. Man, Google's fucking up.
Anya Taylor-Joy is kind of a rising, not really
Rising male star.
Yeah, that's it. Wrong.
I don't know about that.
Is this AI? Google AI?
It's just a random thing. Oh, if they got fucking young Sheldon.
Oh, young Sheldon.
Yeah.
Young Sheldon.
Young Sheldon.
That's young Sheldon as Flash Gordon.
Dude, Bazinga! It's got the lightning bolt right there.
Good night, everybody.